Good morning. I'm so happy to see everyone.
Good morning.
Everyone on the interwebs. I'm Rachael Blaske, and
I'm Julie Ahern.
And we're on the wrong side of the screen. Hang on a second. I'm going to fix it. I did it. We are ready. So this morning, I know. Okay, no, stop. Focus on the intro, Rachel. So this is episode 3 of You're Invited. And in this episode, Julie, VP and COO of Greenbrier Games, which is over here, and myself, CEO of Poketto, and at someone's recommendation, formerly known as 524 Labs, we'll chat over a good cup of coffee and talk about the tabletop industry. We are going to talk about a topic that we feel is important, an important part of running a board game company. And we're going to discuss your comments and questions in the live chat because you're invited.
And for the month of September, still very excited that we are sponsored by Caffeinated Kobold. Yes. And as a reminder, we are still looking for those YouTube likes. As soon as we hit 100, we're going to do a giveaway, and somebody will get a bag of tasty, tasty, tasty coffee.
Yes. So, I'm going to put that link in the chat. So that everybody can see, because you guys all got to go clicky, click. And
so before we dive into our topic for today, talking about things that are happening in the industry. Yes. 1 second.
I just had to tell you that this morning, I don't think I would have made it without Caffeinated Kobold because I used the Raise the Dead. This is the highest caffeine possible, and I'm really excited about it, and it tastes really good. I just had to say that.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Logan.
So, this week in the industry, well, this isn't this is an ongoing thing that's been happening, but that recently got brought up to our attention. So, last week we talked about how Amazon has required people say who they are as a seller so that it can't just be put on the publisher. And we got a lot of great commentary about that. Similarly, but more adjacent to, we were discussing the other day how there is a group called The Trove, and they claim to be RPG archivists, so putting up for free RPGs that have gone out of print that people are unable to get to. What they actually do is put up all RPGs, even ones that are currently being sold. I know for a fact that, because I've talked to several different RPG publishers now, that have requested they take them down, have sought legal help in having it happen, because what they are doing is illegal. And they don't. They say they're archivists, that they don't have to, or they close down for a couple days their site and then reopen it. And now they're advertising on Facebook. So not only do they have a website, but now they're starting to use social media to promote said website, to let people. Now, on the one hand, if you are a consumer, I understand that you're like, hey, awesome, I get to have all these things and not have to pay for them. As somebody who is a publisher who spends her time writing all the time and knowing how much time and effort goes into creating something like an RPG, it's theft.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're advertising
something.
So that is, it is, if you are so inclined to perhaps go to the Facebook page and report it, I'm sure that the publishers who are unfairly having their product being given away would appreciate it.
Yes.
So
we need to do our part to support our fellow publishers that this is their livelihood. They have to put food on their table, and it's just not cool.
No. So it's interesting because, think about the major or the bigger names in RPG publishing, and some of them have quite a bit of clout. So think about them saying cease and desist and it not having any effect. That's frustrating. So we've been spending a lot of time talking about how we're trying to make Amazon a more equitable and fair place for people to purchase things, and on the one hand get the thing that they actually purchase, not a counterfeit that is not as good quality, but also having a publisher make sure that their product is the product that they made being sold. So you've got the same kind of frustrations of somebody taking your product that you worked hard to make and for the record, there are sites that people put their RPGs on for pay what you want, pay $1. So if you're hard up for content and you do not have the funds, which I also respect, there is still an outlet for you. So that was our in the industry news for this morning.
Important stuff to talk about.
And looking at the comments, yes, happy Friday. Okay. Allison said she did a quick Facebook search and didn't see it. I will say that, yes, John Stacy posted about it. So if you are part of the Gamma, there is a link there, but I feel like I can share it after, or it might be in the links already to our.
Yeah, it might be. Let me see, since you're working on that. Well, actually, I'll look at some comments while you try and find that link. And then I am excited to see everybody today. What is the coffee today? I touched on mine. Mine is Raise the Dead. I'm all about some caffeine today. What about
I went mild. I went mild so that I could add my pumpkin spice latte creamer in it. I went basic. I'm not.
Good morning.
I'm not gonna lie.
Shout out last week. I'm so happy to see everybody this morning. It's again our morning hug. I see Miss Katie Randall. She's here with us today. Happy birthday. She has her birthday today, and that's amazing. And I know that she is running a fundraiser for Love Thy Nerd for her birthday. So go check that out. All right. Nice. So getting into the real meat of the topic. Wait, no, I have to do something else first, don't I?
No, yes, you need to ask the question.
No. I got to do my live notification script.
I feel like this is amazing today. I think we're
a hot mess today and
killing it. All right.
Okay, so if you are looking at well, of course you're looking at it. Okay. Click the three dots in the upper right-hand corner of this screen, and you can choose to be notified every time we go live. We also already dropped the link to the YouTube account in the comments, so you can subscribe and find our archive shows after the streaming. I'm actually thinking about starting to do some like little highlight reels that I can put up that kind of break it down even faster, because I know that even somebody was recommending that if we did just our 5-minute tabletop news, then maybe people would be able to just like, this is what they talked about in the news this week. So we're trying to give you guys different ways to digest our content.
And let us know what you like.
Yes.
So that we keep doing those things.
Yeah. We want this to be good for you guys. All right. So the topic, let me do my fancy things. And our topic is confessions of inadequacy. I have been stressed about this all week because I have a hard time admitting that I'm not good at something. So this is one of those. I asked Julie, I'm like, can we like put on some calming music to keep me like, and then we just determined that would distract me further. So we're actually doing that. So during the week, we actually asked on our page, what is your weakness and how do you cope? And that was hard. And again, not a whole lot of people wanted to chip in there. So I'm gonna wonder that kind of stuff in the comments right now, so we can look at those later. But first of all, we're gonna go into ours. We'll take the lead. We'll, stand in front of you all and let's do this.
It's going to be okay. You're going to be okay. So, last night, I messaged Rachael saying, can we go through the notes for tomorrow? And she said, sure, give me a couple minutes. And I said, okay, cool. And I went to make dinner. And then after dinner, I was like, well, she hasn't messaged me back. I'm looking at my phone, and I'm going to watch a TV show because I've been working really hard this week, and I want to relax for a little bit until we jump into these notes. And much, much later, I realized I had not talked to her. And what had happened was I had left a window open with the Facebook Messenger open, so I had never seen the notifications. And the whole time she'd been like, hey, you okay? What's going on? I'm ready. What happened?
Hey.
And that is a really good introduction to what I find to be one of my biggest struggles, which is communication. As much as I work on it, and it is a constant effort to improve and be better at it, communication is one of my biggest struggles. When I focus on it, I think that I communicate quite effectively, which is why we're doing this show. But for me, I'm an introvert. So, and as a, anybody who doesn't know what that means, you can Google it. It's, what extrovert and introvert are. But baseline, it costs me energy every time I have to have an exchange. And what's interesting to me about it is like I said, I've spent my whole life, teaching, learning to be an effective communicator. But every single time it takes a little piece of my energy, my mana. So I deplete my mana over the course of a day. Mm-hmm. And as anybody knows, certain exchanges doesn't take very much because it's either something you do all the time or it's a positive kind of you're looking forward to that exchange, but it still takes a little bit of energy versus something that is more thought-driven, more difficult, whether it's a more conflict-oriented, and not necessarily when I say conflict, it's not like I'm throwing down with people all the time, but let's say I'm in a contract negotiation. That is stressful because you want both parties to feel like they're getting a fair share at something, but nonetheless, you're also trying to navigate what's going to be best for your company. Something like that takes a lot of my mana. And it's not that it's a negative experience, but it takes a lot more from me. Now, partner that with, I'm trying to carve out time to do something like writing, which also takes a lot of my thought process and energy and mental reserves. So in the end, I sometimes fail spectacularly at communication, whether it's what the kids call these days ghosting, which I don't intend to do, but I'm like, I will get to that, and I will get to that, and I will get to that. And I push back that particular conversation because it's a challenging one and I want to put my time into it, but then I push it back to the point where it's embarrassingly too long. Or it's a rushed, let me fill this out, let me get it out. I don't have time to think about it, so I'm just going to do it. And then it's not given the attention that I want it to be. My fun anecdote about this is one that I wrote about. So I'll give the full, like if you want to go and read it, I have the link for it I did a blog post about it, but I was working with an artist for Yashima, several artists, and they were in China and Korea. And so there was a language barrier. And I said, I would like to commission a piece that's special just for the holidays so we can send out like a holiday card for all of our backers. And since we had just finished Ninja Dice, so this was very early on in the life of Greenbrier Games, I want snow falling on ninjas. What I got was Snow White felling ninjas. So if you go to the link, you'll see the picture. It's amazing. It is a somewhat anime style, somewhat cheesecake style Snow White with 2 knives, gore everywhere, and ninjas all dead. And it's amazing. It is a fantastic, amazing
they know your
piece
aesthetic.
of art. Right. And in their defense, we had just come off of Zpocalypse. It wasn't like a weird ask for us if I had said it. But so communication is key, but it also takes a lot of energy. And sometimes I feel like I fell short.
I had someone ask me yesterday to email them. And I said, I can do that, but I'm really bad at email. Just completely out there. I'm horrible at email. And that's why I will usually find you in Facebook Messenger or DM or a text if I have your number. And that's because it's the immediacy for me. I don't view emails as something I need to respond to, which is a bad thing. I need to be better about emails. So I understand. For mine, I wanted to talk about work-life balance because that's an ongoing thing that everybody talks about. And I know a lot of people who struggle with this. There is a work culture, a work ethic culture that, and when you work from home, it's very easy to blur the lines. I have said many times in the past few years that I wish that I just went to work and came home and it was done. And then I could go back to work the next day and then leave it there. And I don't function that way. And one of the parts of my personality that I'm passionate, I am enthusiastic, and I am focused. But there's only so much of me. And so I am those 3 things about one thing at a time. And it is easy for me to ignore the rest of the aspects of my life. And that's not fair. And so I fail in that a lot. And I heard an analogy. This was discussed in a Georgia Tech commencement address by Brian Dyson, the CEO of Coca-Cola. And he talked about juggling balls in the air for the different parts of your life. And he talked about how there's 5 balls. One is spirit, one is health, one is family, and one is friends. And the 5th one is work. And he talked about how 4 of them are glass balls and 1 is rubber. So if you drop any of your glass balls, it can be irrevocably damaging. I said a good word.
You did it. That was like a 95-cent word. That was amazing.
I need more coffee. Irrevocably. Yes, awesome. Cool. I feel very awesome right now. Okay. So drop your spirit, you are at a dead stop. Drop your health, you're at a dead spot. None of these, and drop your family, you're going to be at a dead spot. Your friends, and work is the rubber ball. It bounces. It can be reorganized in terms of its order, and often we treat it like the glass ball. And I think that doing, if I keep that in my mind, I will do better. Because right now everything is glass in my head, and my kids are glass. My health, I just, and of course work. Like, this is super important to me. I'm passionate about this. I'm excited about this. I'm focused, and I drive you crazy all week talking about what we're going to talk about on Friday.
You do not drive me crazy. Stop.
The introverts that is losing the energy from talking to me 24 hours a day. I understand. So this is something I struggle with. And I know that this is a common thing. And so I wanted to bring that up because I'm not good at this. And it's something I struggle with every day, and just wanted you guys to know that. And you have
So I had a different
perspective,
right? I had a I've also read that analogy. And one of the things for me that on the surface, it sounds great. And it also is very reminiscent of what my father always would tell me, which is think of a clock as a pie chart, and how much of that pie is devoted to work, how much of that pie is, and that can change from day to day, but you only have that many hours, and you have to determine which one gets the bigger piece of the pie on any given day. And it had that same kind of feel. It's a bite-sized, easy to keep in your head thing, but really life isn't that simple. I offer the alternative from the book Stretched Too Thin: How Working Moms Can Lose the Guilt, Work Smarter, and Thrive, which I think it would be a great read for you and anybody out there, not just working moms, but working parents. So we're juggling 5 balls, but in reality, we're not. That's from last week, break it from big problems down to smaller problems. We're juggling 55 balls any given day. And some of those are work balls, and some of those are family, and some of those are friendship, and some of those are self-spirit, self-care. And of those, some of them are rubber and some of them are glass. So the ballet, dance recital that your child has been practicing for, and tonight is the night, and it's their debut, and they have a lead, that's glass ball. You promised to make peanut butter and jelly sandwich with the crust cut off, and you didn't get to it, that's a rubber ball. Mm-hmm. So family doesn't always have to be glass. Work doesn't always have to be rubber or glass. Know which ones, and know you're going to drop some of them always, and forgive yourself for it, because you know that your family is going to forgive you for it. And make sure that you're in a position where your work will forgive you for it. And that is a bigger challenge, because work does act like it is a glass ball. So it's not just we put it on ourselves. We are in a society that tries to do that. So make sure that you are trying to promote an environment where, tell me what the glass balls are, so for me, Jeff will pile on the, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. And I just laugh and I go, which one do you need the most? Because that's the one you're going to get today. Mm-hmm. So being able to know that and communicate it and not feel bad about it is my, I am good at setting boundaries. I also love work and overwork, but I am good at setting boundaries of, this is what I can do. This is what I can accomplish. Or I said I could accomplish this and I can't, and I'm sorry. How do we move forward? Not how do I beat myself up? So that is my alternate perspective on that. However, I find that in general in this industry, we do a lot of beating ourselves up. And we talked a little bit about this too, because I think that it's very interesting to me how rampant imposter syndrome is in our industry. How many people, I think maybe, for me at least, it was because I started off as a fan and then became a professional, that it's very surreal to me that other people could be a fan of my work or of me or whatever, and that it doesn't seem real because I feel like I am like them. I am still a fan. So when I don't do everything exactly perfect, exactly right, it reinforces that, see, I don't really belong here. And I know that's ridiculous. Anybody who does a job, who's working, belongs where they are. But we're in a really particular industry where, you have only a few that are, I guess, more entertainment driven. So comic books or media, whatever. If you're not, you're starting with nobody knows you to people know who you are, and there's some level of recognition socially, you get that feeling like, well, that's not me. And in truth, like the poem If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same, it's that's the imposter. Feeling that somebody is better than you or you're failing. We're always going to have good days and bad days. So the real imposter is having those feelings that somebody is more worthy or not that you are not.
Right. I feel like when I do run into people, I get that fangirl moment, but then when I am trying to reach out to somebody, I try not to feel like it's a big deal, because it's not a big deal to reach out to me. I'm just Rachel, and I want to hear from you, and I don't. Yeah, I've got a lot going on, but you're just as important as anybody else, and most of the people that I know in the industry feel that way. So try to, own your recognition, own your accomplishments, praise each other, and know that we're all just people.
Yeah, we're all just people. I think it's funny that you say that. I think that's kind of what the other thing that we talked about, that getting stressed about doing this, getting stressed about going to a trade show and talking to other people in the industry versus going to a convention. And I know that right now this is not a thing, but it will be a thing. God, it will be a thing again.
It will.
And maintaining that level of somebody coming up to you as a fan and saying that they appreciate your work and expressing gratitude without it, but also having to deal with that. I get told I make a face. I make a face like, and apparently it's like like you stepped in dog poo kind of thing. And I don't, and that it comes off as like, why are you talking to me? Which is not what it is. I make a face because when somebody asks me, like, will you sign my, a lot for Zpocalypse in the beginning, like, will you sign my board game? And I would make the face. And the face wasn't, stop talking to me. The face was, I did laundry this morning and made my lunch and it's in a paper bag. Why do you think I am worthy of getting a sick, and Jeff would come up to me and be like, stop making that face. And I would get yelled at because it wasn't expressing what I thought it was expressing, which was, we're the same. We're not, we're just people. What is frustrating is that is not what was being asked of me. What the response should be is, thank you. I appreciate your willingness to be excited about my work.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I'm happy to sign it. Thank you so much. And it's such a strange thing to this day. Whenever I start to feel like I'm getting big time, all I need to do is spend 5 minutes talking to my nieces and nephews to know
No.
no.
My kids.
Kids
No.
will cut you down real fast.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Oh, Tony, I've seen that face.
Yeah, let's see what some other people had to say. Yes, everybody's seen the face. I don't.
Oh man, so yes, so Tony, he does demo with her sometimes, so he's seen the face. And I did want to circle back to Price from earlier. Have you found that the spheres, the balls, are overlapping more this year because of the pandemic, working from home, and how are you coping? I thought that was such a good one to like multi-layer break down. What do you think, Julie?
Oh goodness, yes. You have. There's something to be said, about physically moving from one location to another that gives you a mental, this is the end of something, this is the beginning of something else. It gives you deadlines to better hit, or for yourself, but also for your team, for your company, for other people being like, I can only go until now because now I have to transition. So spheres overlapping. I had 3, not yours, by the way, 3 different people message me Saturday night after like 11 o'clock at night for business questions last Saturday, where I was like, what is happening? It's Saturday night, but time is kind of meaningless right now. You're kind of always on. Right. So absolutely, there is a lot more. There's no definite, here's the starting, here's the ending.
Right. And then
here's the boundary.
In our industry, we're across multiple time zones. And so by the time Price wakes up, I've sent him like 3 or 4 messages and he's like, stop it. I'm West Coast. So it's so hard to figure out what your boundaries are, but I feel like it's important for you to know, and everybody should have different ones because we're all very different and we all work differently, but we should know that it's important to give all the different balls a different weight and what they need to do to get what they need.
But so it's funny. Okay, so always I've had, like you said, either it's time differences. Talking to manufacturers in China is going to, be a different time constraint. Some of my reviewers are overseas. You have a lot of reasons to adjust your timeline. But I still had, well, okay, I'm going to work all these crazy hours, but then I'm going to go to this convention and I'm going to be on a plane. And I am not, or I'm going to be at the airport waiting, or I have to go to my hotel and set up. And there will be a significant amount of time where all I'm doing is traveling. And my traveling is I put in my audiobook and I have my comfy, like, travel blanket and my little heating pads and my little mask, because I did it a lot and I'm fancy like that. And my special moisturizer so I don't dry out on the plane, and I like sit there and listen to books and kind of pass out, and it was delightful. I don't have that anymore. There is no built-in, well, that's it for me, I'm going to force myself to relax right now moments. I don't do that. So you want to message me at 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, whichever ones they are. I'm here. It's like true. Right here at this table. So it's very hard. Was there anything else? Were there any other ones?
Oh, well, there's a lot of things about just trying to, I think that different strengths and feeling the imposter syndrome, and just now when China emails you in the middle of the night and you forget to turn off your notifications. I mean,
yeah.
Who hasn't dealt with that? So I'm going to go ahead and move on to your top tip. Well, so I gotta mess with things. Hang on. I gotta take us off of full face to this face. And I'm going to go over here with my banner. Oh my goodness. Sorry. There you go.
So yes, find your support system, know who your people are. I think from the very beginning, Sarah said it really early on, know how to delegate. And delegate isn't always, it can be whomever, maybe it's, in my company, we're all pretty equal, but it can be just, so Zach being like, hey, today I've got Sophia and emails are on you. And I can be like, cool, but that's going to push back X, Y, or Z. So tomorrow that's on you. Even exchange. Finding your support system and how it works is important. And then, of course, the one last thing I wanted to say was my favorite quote from Star Trek. Oh. Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the Starship Enterprise. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness. That is life. What's your top tip?
Glorious. Oh, I'm having Star Trek flashbacks. Oh, I love it. My top tip is to keep perspective. When I get myself in a complete, absolute meltdown, I try to take a second and say, is this going to matter in 5 minutes? Is this going to matter in 5 hours, 5 days, 5 months, 5 years? And by the time I get far enough out, I can breathe. And I love what you're saying about the resiliency that is built from having certain parts of your life that, were discussed as glass. They're broken down and there are rubber balls within those glass balls. Like I would say family as a whole is a glass ball, but like you said, there are different things within it that are the rubber balls. And if a rubber ball bounces in my kid's ball, they're going to develop some resiliency. And I don't need someone who's going to break every single time I fail, because I fail every day. And I just need them to be able to roll with it, because I have to roll with it when they break. And it's just a give and take relationship. And that is in so many different ways in my life. So let's check
what's going on. Oh yeah.
Make it so. Yes. Make it so. Julie's Picard quote was a mic drop. Poster. Hey, she's a graphic designer. Make a poster. Okay. Well, I would say, I know that I've been talking for a little bit, so I'm going to switch it around. And Julie, what do you have going on with you this week?
So we're still working on the Lost Ones Kickstarter. As you can see, we've gotten a little bit further along in the fact that we've been, Kickstarter page is going up. For me, it's been super fun because I've been uploading assets to Tabletop Simulator to get it ready, because we want people to be able to play it online. So that's been a big deal for us this week. And I've gotten to play with Kieran. Our 3D artist has started giving us some of our assets, so you can see the pretty shiny metal token instead of my sad.
I love it.
So starting to get, and I will, God, it never ceases to amaze me. No matter how rough my week has been, when I get new art, it's like some people like shopping for new shoes. Some people like, their electronics. I get new art and it transforms my whole day. So getting some new art assets, getting to play with them, to do things like make marketing things. I know that seems silly, but it's a new toy for me. So I'm pretty excited about that.
That's awesome. For mine, or you got more to tell?
No, I want to hear about you.
Okay. All right. So I think in the chat, actually, JoJo's here, and JoJo is recently taken over in the marketing part of Poketto, formerly known as 524 Labs. And she's done amazing, amazing work. I'm very, very happy with how it's going. And she's going to be doing some streams because we announced that we're going to do a Kickstarter on October 15th with the Poketto collection. And it's highlighting 3 different small games that we have found from first time or, newer designers. And where she's going to do a showcase. And what I love about JoJo is she's totally into the cosplay world and she goes all out for all these different things. And it's glorious. So on the 29th at 11:30, these are Eastern Standard Time. They're going to do a Blessed Dark showcase. The 30th, she's doing a Starforge showcase. And then October 1st is the Castle Siege showcase. And I put the links in the description for the events. And so you can click to be reminded when they go live. And I'm really excited. I can't wait to see more about it and just drink it all in. I'm really, really pumped about this.
Awesome.
All right. So, Chris, I'm so excited to surprise him. Let's do this.
Okay,
he doesn't
so
know.
Our shout out for today is to Chris Goodlet, the charity board gamer.
Yes. And Chris is a beautiful, authentic soul. And he's in the tabletop content creation world. And I count him under his own moniker that he has dubbed it as his board game family. And he highlights games and publishers and other content creators, interviewing them about the charity that's closest to their hearts, and then makes that the focus. I mean, he goes over and he's happy to talk about your projects, which is important for us as publishers, as we're trying to get visibility for that, but then includes ways on how to become involved in the charities that are important to you. And so I know Chris super well. I actually just started sponsoring his live stream. But this morning when we were talking about who we wanted to shout out to, Julie's the one who brought him up.
Correct. So he is so supportive of so many different people, and including this new endeavor of ours, always has a comment, always sharing, always saying something positive and encouraging. And that's, when we say, find your support system, I didn't even know to find Chris, and he was already like, I'm here to support you guys. And that was fantastic. So we wanted to give him a shout out this week. Yes.
And Allison, she's saying, you're going to make his eyes sweat. And that they are. I knew it. I knew it was going to happen. I love it. He's so humble. It's fantastic. All right. So next week.
Yeah, next week.
We're going to keep being raw and scary. I don't want to talk about this.
I'm good with this one too, because honestly, so next week is beginner mistakes. It's been a while since I've been a beginner in the industry, but there's always something new to learn. There's always something new to figure out. We're constantly changing. And I'm actually really excited about this because not only is it going to be beginner mistakes where I can say, well, having gotten past super early years, I can look back and give advice, but also making the mistake of not always listening to beginners and turning it on its tail.
Because they have new ideas.
Correct. So I'm ready to dig into that topic next week. But again, gotta wait until then because we've already gone long again because we like to chat.
I mean, I think 45 minutes is going to be kind of our happy place. So hopefully,
it's what we're doing.
Best laid plans.
Yeah.
All right.
So thank you so much for hanging out with us.
You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Pinterest, and links are all in the description box.
Enjoy the rest of your Friday. And remember, next week, you're invited.
Oh, wait, I'm supposed to do another thing.